You want my honest, real thoughts on Raw this week? Here they go. It sucked. That simple. It sucked. Why did it suck? Well, there's a few reasons why, I suppose. Now, when I look at the WWE and people talk about change and they talk about the reality era, to me, the reality era is that even if some of the participants and some of the faces have changed, the shit still remains the same and nothing actually changes at all. They have this propensity for giving us a lot of meaningless filler crap. The mid-card titles mean absolutely nothing. You only have really three storylines on the show, something involving Orton, something involving Cena, and something involving Daniel Bryan. And the baby faces are booked like monsters to the point where they become the obstacles, they become the heels, and you actually feel sympathy for the heels or the villains because they're the ones never getting over. They're the ones that are having to overcome the freaking obstacles. I don't get it when it comes to the WWE. This was just a tough show to sit through in general this week. This was 3 hours of a lot of yawn factor. And that's just the truth of the matter. I mean, it really, truly is. Like, to me, a perfect example of the stupidity of this week's show or the suck of this week's show. You get the sucky announcement that Daniel Bryan has a neck injury and he's going to have some type of surgery. How long is he going to go out? Who knows? What's going to happen to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Who knows? It was funny. I love Daniel Bryan's dig on John Cena with the kind of mixed reaction. He's like, now I know what it feels like to be Cena. No, you don't, brother. Check back in 9 years of getting those same reactions, only more voracious and intense each and every single week. Then you know what it's like to be like John Cena. Unlike John Cena, Daniel Bryan as a babyface works a lot better because he actually has to overcome obstacles. He actually gets you emotionally invested in the journey. And I feel so bad for a lot of Daniel Bryan fans now because you finally got this big moment with your guy at WrestleMania 30, and who knows what's going to happen. He could be out of action for a few weeks. He might have the title stripped from him. He may not. He might be out of action for a longer period of time. But at the same point in time, it could kind of be a blessing in disguise for Daniel Bryan because, A, it saves him from being kind of run down as a second-tier world champion by the WWE, and B, maybe hopefully it gets him away for that godforsaken feud with Kane. Let's hope that's the case, if nothing else. Oh, good God. But what I found really astounding was you've got this, what could potentially be an earth-shattering announcement for the WWE, and it's not even one of the featured segments on the fucking show. If that doesn't tell you what they feel about a Daniel Bryan, I don't know what the hell does. It wasn't the opener. It wasn't the main event, the close of the show. It wasn't even one of the 1 hour or 2 hour main event segments. It was sandwiched right in the middle of the 1 hour, or the hour number one. And it was followed up by John Cena in one of those prime spots. So you've got your WWE World Heavyweight Champion announcing that he has an injury that could keep him out for some period of time. And the WWE thought this was such big news and so important, and they thought so highly of Daniel Bryan, they couldn't even give him a featured segment when he has recently drawn some decent quarter-hour ratings. I'm like, you know what? That just describes WWE in a nutshell. You've got something earth-shattering here, something that people are going to care about, but you're going to backseat him for a six-man tag involving John Cena that most people aren't going to give a fuck about. Oh, and speaking of John Cena, at some point in time, this crap has to end. This six-man tag, Wyatt family versus Usos and Cena. It's the same old shit. It's a bunch of dancing. It's a match that looks good in theory, but at the end of the day, what is accomplished? Super Cena reigns supreme again. You're not getting any fucking heat on the heels. In fact, again, as I talked about, the alleged heels in the Wyatt family actually grow as baby faces more and more as each and every single week goes by, running up against the John Cena monster that is the John Cena problem for the WWE. Fucking A. Can we do something to make John Cena a little more human, a little more relatable, maybe a little more likable? Not having him go over and blow through everybody every fucking chance he gets. And speaking of blowing through everybody as a babyface and becoming the heel and becoming the obstacle and becoming somebody that actually needs to be booked like a heel if he's going to be continue to book like this, what the fuck is wrong with them? And they're booking a Sheamus. Now he's the United States champion. Oh, good Christ. And think about that, too. Dean Ambrose was the United States champion for over 300 fucking days, and it was easily the worst mid-card title reign in the past decade in the WWE. It did nothing for him. They did nothing with the belt. It did nothing for the belt. It was fucking stupid. Almost a year, and the WWE did nothing with it. What you know now is on one of their golden children, Sheamus, who sits there and apparently reads the internet more than he's supposed to and pays attention more to us than we're supposed to. I'm not Triple H's lifting buddy. We lifted a couple times together a few years ago. Yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right. If you don't believe that I could handle myself, yeah, right, buddy. The only reason you responded like that is because Hunico whooped your ass. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, Maybe occasionally Sheamus does get his ass whooped, or he loses a fucking match, other than once every fucking 6 months. But not only on this week's Raw did he win one match against Curtis Axel, then he comes right back and beats Ryback. So they have Sheamus face two fucking opponents, two potential, you could sit there and say, people that he could have feuded with over the United States Championship, and blew through them in one fucking night back to back. And the WWE wonders why the fans, especially the older fans, don't get more behind their characters and why their baby faces aren't more unanimously over. It's because of bullshit like this. And again, I emphasize bullshit like this, because it was complete and total bullshit. He beats Axel and then he beats fucking Ryback? I'm just saying. You had some good stuff on this show. Adam Rose. I don't know why people are sitting there crapping out Adam Rose. He's fun. Don't be lemons. Be rosebuds. He's fun. Not everybody has to be a serious button-down flips and kicks fucking character. For all the people that sit there and say, I like Leo Kruger better. Well, you know what Leo Kruger did? He spent a lot of damn time in NXT. Adam Rose got a quick hot shot up to the WWE main roster. I would rather support the guy that is actually on the WWE's main roster and is something different, is fresh, is fun. That seems like so many of you don't give a shit about. I love what they're doing with Adam Rose. Fucking yeah, it's party time. It's party time. And RVD sure loved it too, because he beat Swagger in quick order, just like that. But think about it. For so many of you that slob on the knob of the Attitude Era, was the Godfather a fucking pimp who smoked cigars and talked about his hoes and talked about 420 and shit? Was he a completely serious character? Were the New Age Outlaws a completely serious character? Was D-Generation X completely serious? Was Val Venus a fucking male porn star completely serious? Was Goldust this androgynous kind of whatever the fuck he was? Was he a completely serious character? Crash Holly. These people that you look back on with reverence and love. They were fun characters. Moolah, Mae Young, they were fun. The Stooges, Briscoe and Patterson. Everything has to be so goddamn buttoned down and serious. You have some fun with it. I hope people wisen up and they get behind Adam Rose and go with him and see what happens. Hop on board that Exotic Express. It's not going to hurt you, I promise you. But I love seeing Adam Rose because, again, it gives more opportunities for more people to actually be on television. The people from developmental get to be a part of his entourage. I think that's pretty cool. I thought it was really cool what they did with Alicia Fox. Where's this been all this fucking time? And why can't we get this shit more consistently out of the Divas division? Actual character development. And an actual real Divas match where the heel is actually getting real heel heat on herself. This was outstanding. This was tremendous, of course. Paige, who seems to struggle to sell moves at an effective level, ended up with that Super Friends type of finish, and she takes an ass-kicking 99% of the match and then somehow manages to win. No, fuck that! Alicia Fox should have won this damn match, or had her lose in total, complete bullshit fashion, and then follow it up with that spaz fit on the outside. I thought that was outstanding. Do I think it's going to mean anything? No. Do I think it's going to go anywhere? No. Same thing with Damian Sandow shit on the pre-show. The fuck is the WWE going to go with that? Remember for a while they were having The Miz interrupt every week, and there was talk about him and Dolph Ziggler forming a tag team. How'd that work out? So let's keep our expectations down to a bare minimum here, because we should all damn good and well know better. We should, I would think anyways. And what did Sandow do on this week's show? Just saying. One segment that I actually liked because of the simplistic kind of nationalistic good versus evil, red, white, and blue, Star Spangled Awesome U.S. versus the mighty evil Russians. I love what they did with Hacksaw and Rusev here. One thing though. What is it with Rusev the racist? Why does he keep going after the black guys? Why do the black guys want to keep gravitating to him? Why do they want to do that? If it's not Xavier Woods, if it's not R-Truth, now here comes Big E to try to say Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It just, I was grasping at straws here for really good stuff on this week's show, frankly, and that's just the way it is. And even when you look at what's going on with the Shield and Evolution, it started off really good, and then by the end it had gotten very stupid. And what I mean is, the Shield kicks off the show. They've got a couple of minutes where they talk, and then they go after Evolution. The young, aggressive baby faces aren't afraid, and they're going to go fuck with these guys. They say their piece, and then you go on, and there's some action, and that's all fine and good. My first question is, though, is why do the Shield care? They've already beaten these guys. It's like Triple H said, "Ugh, well, you already beat us. But if you wanted again, what the hell? Why not? We'll play your game." What the fuck are they doing? You've already beaten these guys. Why would you continue to want to go down this path? Why would you continue to want to feud with these guys? You've already beaten them. As the baby faces, you have already beaten them. This is just like John Cena beating Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. You have already beaten him. What is the point in the feud continuing? There is no point. And then you get to the end of the show. You know, with the attack of Shield attacking Evolution earlier on in the night, then you got Batista versus Roman Reigns as your main event on Raw, a future pay-per-view main event perhaps, down the road. And you get this match, and then it descends into this whole thing of everybody's going to come out to the ring and attack the Shield, and eventually Ambrose and Rollins chase off like over a dozen wrestlers with steel chairs. I don't know about anybody else. I realize sometimes that's professional wrestling. That's how it goes. Sometimes you live in the land of stupid. I get that. And sometimes it works. But you're telling me that these two guys with steel chairs could run off over, what, probably a dozen wrestlers? I don't know about anybody else. But if I've got two guys that are maybe 6 foot, 230 pounds with steel chairs, and there's 12 of us, at some point in time, I would hope we'd have enough nuts and balls to be able to sit there and face the challenge head on and assume that, hey, maybe 3 or 4 of us will get whacked, but the other 8 of us could fuck the shit up out of these two. You would think. But now you've gotten to the point where the WWE is creating another heel faction in the Shield, whether they realize it or not. I realize that this is going to be popular because people are going to be like, shut up. I don't talk about my guys in Ambrose and Rollins and Reigns. But think about this for a second. They already beat the heel faction, the alleged heel faction in Evolution at Extreme Rules. When Evolution was a reforming faction, you needed to reestablish them. And the way to reestablish them and to get some heat on them as heels is to have them beat the young babyface faction at Extreme Rules, which of course didn't happen because the WWE has gotten too much of a hard-on and fallen too much in love with always putting the babyfaces over to a point, again, where they become the heels because they become the obstacles. And you look at it here at this point in time, I want to get behind Evolution. I don't want to get behind the Shield. I should be wanting to get behind the Shield. I should be wanting to get behind the young, aggressive Lions that are going after the old school way of doing things. But it seems like at every step along the way, Shield has the upper hand on Evolution. They've already beaten them once. I'm going to cheer for fucking Evolution. And that's why, to me, the WWE struggles to create new stars because they go out of their way to monstrously put over anybody that goes to that babyface side. And when it comes to the heels, they always make them these same type of cowardly chicken shits, and that's ridiculous. I think Evolution has to go over at Payback, and in fact, I could argue has to go over at the next pay-per-view too. You got to do something to establish that faction. This is like when Vince brought in the NWO to the WWF in 2002, and their first pay-per-view that they wrestled at, Hogan lost to The Rock, and Hall and Nash damn near pretty much lost a 2-on-1 handicap match to Austin. That is not the way to reestablish a faction, reestablish a heel as top of that. In order for the heel to get some damn heat, he's got to kick a couple of villagers' asses along the way. And it just felt like, to me, more the same old babyface reign supreme, Superman bullshit throughout this show. Cena was God, Sheamus was God, and the Shield were gods. And all the while, they took their one real, truly unanimously over babyface because he's been booked in some ways the right way. And ever since WrestleMania, to me, it seems like they've had no real plan for him, and they've had no real designs on doing anything big with him as the champion in 2014, trying to make this his year. They couldn't even have him make this potentially earth-shattering major announcement in one of the featured segments of the show. How ridiculous is this company? No wonder this show was so hard to sit through for 3 hours on Monday night. The best way I could describe it other than it sucked is... let's move on to next week.